So yesterday and Monday we spoke about how Jesus put his priority on preaching and teaching. And of course the most famous of his sermons is what's called the Sermon on the Mount, which we find in Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Here's how it begins. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on the mountain, and after he sat down, which is the typical posture for a rabbi teaching his students, his disciples came to him, and he opened his mouth and began to teach them. What follows in the next 3 chapters may be one whole sermon, or it may be a composite of things that Jesus preached around and Matthew collected into one sermon. That's not important to debate right now. But the overall picture of the Sermon on the Mount is basically, this is what kingdom life looks like. Here are principles of the kingdom living. And the Sermon on the Mount begins with the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes, that name Beatitudes comes from the Latin word which means blessed. So these could be called the blessed bees. The Living Bible, I think, translates that word as happy. Happy are those who mourn, happy are the poor in spirit, and so forth. Well, the word is more than mere happiness. It's more than just blessedness. It's a more encompassing word that speaks of the inner satisfaction and a calm that doesn't depend on outward circumstances. Boy, we could use some of that calm these days, couldn't we? Over the next few days, I'd like for us to look at each of those Beatitudes one by one. They're best not taken in isolation. They really are like tiles in a mosaic. You have to see the whole thing. They're kind of like pixels in your selfie. You can't just see one, you've got to see the whole thing. But we'll look at each one individually and get a look at kingdom living, principles of the kingdom. So if you get a chance, read the first part of Matthew 5. If you're on a roll, go ahead and read the whole sermon, chapters 5, 6, and 7. Won't kill you. Hope you have a great day today.